Hey, what's up guys, Empathy Tech here. In today's video, we're going to talk about why you should go for Intel's 10th Gen Comet Lake CPUs. So without any further ado, let's get started. Intel is still good, but AMD has come a long way since they announced their first gen Ryzen processors based on 14nm process. They are currently on a 7nm process, but Intel's 10th Gen Comet Lake CPUs are still on 14nm. But using a 14nm process is not a bad thing, and in the case of Intel's 10th Gen CPUs, it's certainly not. A few things in order to get the most out of these 14nm chips. In order to keep the thermals in control and improve the performance, Intel is using Solder Thermal Interface Material or STIM, and they have also made the CPU die thinner and have increased the thickness of the IHS, commonly known as Integrated Heat Spread, which in return allows Intel to get better performance from the previous generation. Intel is in the same spot where AMD was back in 2012, where they had to sacrifice the thermals for higher clock speeds. History is repeating itself yet again. So guys, buckle up, it's time for the performance. Intel's claim for being the best for gaming is true. They still hold the crown for that. In most of the games, we can see that the Intel Core i5-10600K beats AMD Ryzen 9 3900X except the CSGO. But guys, remember, that's a 6-core CPU against a 12-core one. To be fair, Intel always had an edge over AMD in gaming just because back in the day there was a very little competition from AMD and Intel was out there releasing CPUs after CPUs. Video games were more optimized to run better on Intel than they were on AMD just because most of the people had Intel back in the day. Although Intel's 10th Gen CPUs are better in terms of gaming, the CPUs are just not enough to beat AMD at its productivity. One place where AMD still shines at the top is at productivity. Due to its higher thread count, and in fact it supports PCI Gen 4, makes it much more suitable for productivity. So guys, now let's talk about the specifications. In terms of pure core counts and threads, it starts from 4 cores and 8 threads in the Core i3, 6 cores and 12 threads in the Core i5, and 8 cores and 16 threads in the Core i7. And last but not the least, 10 cores and 20 threads in the Core i9. If you guys are interested, we will leave a link in the description for the specifications of these CPUs. The important thing to note is that the Core i3s will also have hyperthreading in them, which was one of the selling points for the Intel's higher end CPUs just a few short years back. Intel has also improved in the terms of overclocking. The first point states that now you can enable or disable hyperthreading individually on each core. The second point states that they have introduced 2 new turboing mechanisms. The first one is the Turbo Boost Max 3.0 and the second is Thermal Velocity Boost, which means that these CPUs will boost up to very high frequencies under spiky loads. The Thermal Velocity Boost technology is only available on Core i9s, whereas the Turbo Boost Max 3.0 is available on both Core i9s and Core i7s. So guys, it's time to talk about the price. The pricing of the new 10th Gen Intel CPUs is the same as the 9th Gen Intel Core desktop processors, which means the top-end Comet Lake chip has the same price as the top-end Coffee Lake chip, which is around $488, and the cheapest 10th Gen Core i3 is around $122. When you compare the price to performance ratio from the last gen CPUs, you are getting much more better results. But when you compare this with AMD's offering, Intel is a bit on a premium segment. So guys, in our opinion, Intel is still good, but it's in a tough spot. Intel is in a position where they either have to take their game up or else they'd lose a huge market share in the CPU business. One thing is for sure, that they have to keep their head down and get back to work because we don't see Intel coming even close to what AMD has in the terms of raw performance for a couple of years. Some can even say that AMD is at its best. But everything aside, let's get back to the elephant in the room. Who should buy Intel's 10th Gen Comet Lake desktop CPUs? The answer to this question is real simple. If you are an absolute gamer who wants to squeeze out as many frames as you can, then you won't regret going with Intel. On the other hand, if you want to stream or do rendering work, AMD is a better option. And guys, we are not saying that Intel is bad at productivity or AMD is bad at gaming. Absolutely not. Both the companies are good at what they are aiming at. These are exciting times for the PC community. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. We loved your response on our earlier video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media. Our Instagram and Twitter links are in the description box down below. Till then, take care. Goodbye.